the Shamrock Shake, the McRib, Szechuan sauce, all beloved limited time offerings that have come and gone from our lives over and over. And the cycle continues even now because McDonald's just announced that the snack wrap is coming back, baby. But while everyone is celebrating, nobody is stopping to notice that these offerings coming back are a sign of trouble. A sign that the real limited time offering is McDonald's itself. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that's a snack all wrapped up for you. And speaking of the snack wrap, make sure you're sitting down for this one because it is back. For those of you who don't remember, the McDonald's snack wrap was a total fast food unicorn. Warm, flavor, a punch of protein, enough green to make you feel like you're making healthy choices, all while not costing a lot of green from your wallet. More specifically, it was a warm tortilla stuffed with lettuce, cheese, sauce, and that McJuicy chicken that we all know and love. And all for about $2, which obviously won't be the same in today's economy, but still. Given it had 14 grams of protein, which is roughly the equivalent of a 6-count McNugget, this is some serious value. So if it was so great, where did it go, right? Where do all these limited time offerings go? The fast food upside down? A special Pokeball given to McDonald's managers? Of course not. That would be insanely cool. Regardless of your feelings and the feelings of its legions of fans, the snack wrap was discontinued in the United States in 2016, nearly 10 years ago. This move was met with plenty of outcry, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And definitely don't take it away. People signed petitions, posted angry statuses, and probably shed some tears in front of those poor hourly employees, who of course had nothing to do with the decision. And what did McDonald's do? Nothing. Until now. Because like I mentioned, they're bringing it back. There is just one catch though. It's still only for a limited time. That's right, this is another one of those while supplies last deals. But why? If there's clearly a market for the snack wrap, and based on all the celebration regarding its return there sure seems to be, why would they not just bring it back for good? It was good enough to put on the menu once, and it's good enough to bring back now, so why can't it stay? I mean, McDonald's runs out of supplies for its burgers all the time. They just get more supplies. And the same goes for the Shamrock Shake or the Szechuan sauce, or my personal favorite, the Double Big Mac. Well, I did some digging into all of this. Not just the snack wrap, but into all the limited time items. And what I found was shocking. These limited time offerings returning are a sign that the Golden Arches are in serious trouble. So hold on to your McRibs, loyal theorists, as we uncover why the snack wrap might be a sign that it's a wrap for our old pal Ronald McDonald. Now, you may have never thought too much about these items that come and go. Sure, you get hype when it's that time of year, but then it's over and you just wait for the next thing. Out of mind, out of sight. Like the pumpkin spice gang at Starbucks. One orange leaf falls in August and suddenly every Starbucks employee has to batten down the hatches. And then it's Christmas time and you might get a minty drink and so on and so forth. But you do always get some people that wonder why these fan favorites can't stay around all year long. Thing is, these limited time offerings are a super important part of the food industry and need to be that way. Limited. You know the drill. These snacks are here for a good time, not a long time, and the pressure is on you, loyal customer, to come in and get them before it's too late. It's really economics 101. Less supply equals more demand. You know what else is a limited time offering? My time. I have limited time to offer. You get it. Not my best. Moving on. That's why I'm so grateful for today's sponsor, Factor. I could spend an entire Sunday making my kitchen look like a giant meatball exploded in there, or I could spend my time doing literally anything else and getting ready-to-eat meals right to my door that I can heat up and munch on in just 2 minutes. That is where Factor comes in. You don't have to do any prep work, meal planning, or the best part for me, cleanup. Plus, the food isn't just slapped together like Tom's 2 brain cells when he thinks of his super clever insults for me. It's chef-crafted and dietitian approved and gives you so much flexibility when you order. You can add more meals or pause your deliveries in case you're traveling around and don't want to come back to a pile of spoiled food. What I love about Factor is that customization. I can tell them that I love red meat and they prioritize it in my next shipment of meals. Plus, they have these amazing juices. And the only ingredients they have? The juices of the fruitses. So when I'm back from the gym and hate my life, all I have to do is pop one of these meals in from my fridge and bam! In just a couple of minutes, I'm getting a meal that gives me all the protein protein I need for them gains. And because the brain is just as important for a theorist, I can wash it down with the orange carrot ginger juice. So don't waste your limited time and head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50foodtheory to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50foodtheory at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That way you can get to snacking on that while we talk about the snack wrap. On the one hand, if these items were always around, there would naturally be less demand for them. With no ticking clock, people don't need to rush to their closest store to avoid the disappointment of missing out. So why go through all the trouble of sending customers on an emotional roller coaster to begin with? Why all the will they, won't they menu drama? Well, first of all, your favorite answer, corporate greed. A huge part really is that these items make a ton of money, especially if they go viral and hit the digital stratosphere. The super mega popular Grimace Shake in 2023 skyrocketed their sales by more than double in the quarter it released. Granted, not every limited time item is that popular or does that well, but they usually bring in a healthy amount of revenue by themselves. And best believe that every time they bring it back, they can make it just a bit more expensive and people will still pay it no matter what because of the psychological trick of limited supply. We think, hey, I can't get this year round, so I'll pay what I have to now, even if we know it's coming back next year. Take the Shamrock Shake, which is currently in the on-again phase of its on-again, off-again relationship with customers. It was actually the first LTO brought to us by McDonald's, specifically a franchise owner in Connecticut all the way back in 1967. While it had various iterations over the years, some less successful than others, looking at you, Shamrock Sunday, at this point it has graduated from being a strictly limited release to being a seasonal one. These days, fans can expect it to resurface like a groundhog in the spring, usually in February, and lasts until all the St. Patrick's Day decorations have come down at the end of March. But it doesn't stop people from hounding for it. The money these items make, though, is more of a bonus. The real reason limited time items are a mainstay on the tool belt of the fast food industry is that they create buzz and get people in the door. Sometimes places will use items that aren't seasonal to create even more chatter around their restaurant. For McDonald's, it's the McRib. It comes and goes without much rhyme or reason. First introduced in 1981, it was eventually discontinued because of poor sales. But the McRib simply won't die, no matter how hard Ronald tries to wash his hands of this barbecue-covered pork treat. Its first comeback was in 1989, 4 years after its initial cancellation, and it actually lasted as a permanent menu item in a lot of countries until 2005. Then, at weird intervals, it kept coming back until 2022 when it had a massive farewell tour. Yeah, and then returned a bunch of times since then. But every time it did, people posted, memed, commented, reacted, and whether you like it or not, it's on your mind, and the next time you're hungry, you suddenly feel a strange, otherworldly pull to your local McDonald's. But the limitations aren't just for us, they're for the restaurants too. These end up costing a lot of money. I mean, think about it. They use ingredients that don't really pop up anywhere else on their regular menu. They have to spend a lot of money for the ingredients of just one item. And sure, sometimes they get lucky with a Grimace Shake and can still make a bunch of cash, but more often than not, these items are what are known as loss leaders. Basically, restaurants will take a loss or just make a lot less profit for each one sold with the idea that they can sell their more profitable things alongside it. You know what goes great with a Shamrock Shake? Fries. The fries are so salty and make you thirsty, so you get a medium drink too. And the shake is more of a dessert, so obviously you're gonna get a burger. All items that have much higher profit margins for the golden arches. Not only that, but according to a former corporate chef at McDonald's, the novelty of the items usually wears off after trying them once, and then people revert back to their regular go-to foods, which in turn makes McDonald's more money. Let's recap for a second here. These LTOs are great at driving traffic and making people spend money on other things that are more profitable for the restaurants. But they need to be seasonal or else people won't feel the need to go to the restaurants. There's no hype, and the restaurants can't afford to pay for premium ingredients that are only used on one item on their menu year-round. So they tug on our heartstrings and abandonment issues by dangling these delicious treats in our faces for just a few weeks a year. It makes sense, right? So you might be wondering what the problem is with the snack wrap coming back. Well, things have changed, like inflation, wage increases, ingredient shortages, and cost increases. Things we've covered before and all things that have led to those oh-so-profitable items being less profitable for McDonald's. Even with them increasing the prices an astronomical amount in some places, like the $18 Big Mac in Connecticut. It's gotten so bad that the Big Mac is on the verge of moving from the backbone of the entire company to a loss leader. McDonald's has had a stranglehold on the fast food market for decades, but the recent past hasn't been as kind to it. From 2013 2013 to 2020, revenue saw a steady and serious decline, losing them billions of dollars. Even now that they've managed to slow the bleeding, they still haven't returned to those early 2010s levels of revenue. And once you factor in inflation, that means some serious warning bells. Enter the new and improved, or same and exactly the same, snack wrap. Now, this is a bit different from the other LTOs we've covered because it was discontinued 10 years ago and we never heard another peep. They never meant for it to come back. Chef Mike, the former corporate chef, confirmed that not only was it not as profitable, which isn't a surprise for LTOs, but the snack wrap ingredients took up a lot of space in the kitchens, and the wrap itself was also just harder to make. That means more time, which equates to either more dissatisfied customers tired of waiting, or restaurants spending more on employee training and labor. Either way, costly. So if it was so bad for business that it ended up getting the axe, why is McDonald's bringing it back a decade after so publicly declaring defeat? You might argue that chicken is cheaper than beef now, and the wrap is definitely coming back at a higher price point than before, but the real reason is McDonald's is desperately trying to get us to come back by expanding, more than ever, their LTOs. See, the snack wrap isn't the only thing that came back after an insane amount of time. The celebrity dishes that started with Travis Scott's meal back in 2020 were actually started in the early 90s with Michael Jordan. And when did they bring these meals back? In what was looking to be one of the worst economic years for them thanks to the pandemic. And since then, they haven't stopped, with WNBA star Angel Reese being the most recent addition to the celebrity menu deals. For almost 30 years, Mickey D's was happy with one celebrity meal. Since they brought them back in 2020, they've done 5. Then there's the increase in Happy Meal promotions, ranging from the adult Happy Meals with Cactus Plant Flea Market and Kerwin Frost to Boo Buckets and Croc Clips, and most recently, Pokemon. Even the Shamrock Shake is being accompanied by the return of Grimace's long-lost Uncle O'Grimacy, who was exiled back in the 80s. No doubt because of how popular the Grimace Shake was at getting people to come back to McDonald's. At this point, limited-time offerings aren't seeming so limited. The window between announcements has been shrinking ever so slightly. Even the snack wrap is going to be accompanied by an entire expansion to their chicken portfolio, according to the McDonald's CEO. It's not just the snack wrap, it's one thing after the other after the other. See, the crazy thing about all of this is that while McDonald's is clearly in big trouble, they're not going quietly, and the unlimited LTOs might be a winning strategy. While profits aren't what they used to be, they have been steadily on the rise since 2020 when the celebrity meals came into play. Who knows, this might mean that the McRib will be back for good, or we'll get yet another shake to continue the Grimace lore. Gone are the days of enjoying a limited time item and waiting patiently for the next. Instead, we have a barrage of items being thrown at us left, right, and center by McDonald's to get us coming back. And while McDonald's may be seeing some success now, there will come a point where it's no longer sustainable to have premium ingredients or split profits with celebrities. And when that happens, just like their chicken, it'll be a wrap for McDonald's. But hey, that's just a theory. Food theory. Buen provecho. And hey, if you like this episode, make sure to click the link on the screen now to learn all about the Uber Eats conspiracy. And as always, I'll see you next week.